Yeah, so I met this guy,
I met this guy.
Yeah, so I met this guy.
and he's got some friends who are very.
Let's say interesting.
He's got some friends who are very interesting. You should totally listen to this.
Model, athlete, photographer, influencer, shoe consultant, actress, videographer, musician, and much more. Allee is many interesting people rolled all into one. In this episode, Allee will share with us some of her insights and her passions and her facets into her life. Welcome, Allee. Thanks for taking the time with us today.
Thanks for having me, Harry. I am so excited to be here. I can't wait to talk a little bit more about myself and to just kind of let you guys learn a little bit more about me and the things that I do every day.
That's wonderful. So just to kind of give the audience just a little bit of an idea about yourself and your journey through life that has brought you to today.
Yeah, there's a bunch of interesting things that have brought me to where I'm at today. Probably some of the most notable is I am a first generation American, as well as also first generation student. So I've dealt with a lot of hardships and just kind of dealing with, essentially being the first to do a lot of these things. But in that, I've met a lot of amazing people along the way, and I've also learned a lot of amazing lessons too. So it's pretty cool.
Very good. So in your learning curve through these various activities that you've been through, have you found any previously held beliefs that were shattered or turned around or reversed?
Let me think. I think one that sometimes I still struggle with, but I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job about is being in school, honestly, being a first generation student. Like I said, I'm a first gen American. My dad, he's from a third world country. And so growing up, he didn't really have the same opportunities that I did, came to America and kind of just, he kind of just took off with the American dream, worked hard, supported his family, and he still does. And I'm very grateful for that. And now that I'm at the age where I get to be in school and I get to explore college and kind of learn things as I go, one thing that we kind of butted heads against was going to college for some reason. Was he felt like it was pointless. He felt like it was useless. And I disagreed with him. I was like, it's not. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try and figure this stuff out. And it took me a couple years to really figure out what I wanted to do and what I wanted to study. And there were some points where I really thought, yeah, maybe this is pointless. Maybe I don't need to be doing this. Maybe I am wasting my time. But like I said, as I kept going, as I kept pushing through, eventually I did find something that I was really passionate about and that I'm really excited to study. So I'm pretty grateful for that. And I think that is something that I am kind of turning around, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me a little bit about the camera. I know you're kind of good with both sides of it. You know how to have pictures taken of you, and you know how to take pictures. And so tell us about your modeling and your photography stuff.
Yeah, so I actually signed with an agency as a model when I was just 10 years old. I'm about to turn 20 in a couple days, so it's been almost a decade. So I've been working in front of a camera for a really long time, as a model, as an actress, just a little bit of everything. A couple years ago, I actually got more into photography. I'd always been really interested in kind of what goes on behind the camera. And I think just as soon as I got even my first phone when I was maybe like 10 or 11 years old, I was taking pictures of everything. I thought it was so cool. Nothing that was ever very notable. But then as I got older and had enough money to save up and buy my own camera, I started going crazy. I started taking pictures of everything. I started taking videos of everything. And I love sitting down and editing stuff. I love sitting down and posting stuff, creating stuff. And with that, I've gotten to kind of turn that into a passion, turn that into a job. And that's actually what I study now is film and media. So I'm really excited about that, to just learn more about what it's like to be behind the camera and to kind of create.
That's great. Can you tell us anything that you'd like to share with our audience who are maybe going through some of the same struggles or choices that you're going through at this point in your life?
Honestly, my best advice would just be don't stop creating and don't stop being passionate. Like I said, I always knew that I wanted to do something creative. In our intro, you kind of talked about how I do a little bit of everything: modeling, acting, photography, videography. If it's creative, I'm doing it, I'm trying it. When I first started going to school, I wanted to study music. And so I started doing a little bit of everything. I started studying music. And I loved it. I mean, I did it all throughout high school. I did it all throughout middle school. It was something that I really loved. But as I started doing college, I was like, I don't know. It's a hobby. I enjoy it, but I don't know if it's something that I want to really pursue. I've always really been into art. I love going to art museums. I love if I'm ever traveling to a new place, the first thing I do is look up if they have an art museum, what the art museum is like. And more often than not, I end up going there. So I studied art for a little bit. And camera or photography and videography had always just been kind of just something that I did. It wasn't anything that I ever thought, hey, I should pursue this, because people are always telling me too, when you go to school, you need to be smart about it. You need to choose a major that's going to pay off. You need to do this, and that. The only thing I could think of was, man, if I'm doing something that like is going to quote unquote pay off, but I'm not into it, I'm not passionate about it, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to put my all into it. I'm not going to excel in it. I might not even finish it. Like, really, what's the point? And so this last semester, I decided to take a video production class, and I ended up loving it. And that's what ended up kind of solidifying my decision. I'm like, yeah, I do want to major in film and media. I do want to major in something creative, something that I am passionate about and getting to create. And so that's kind of what led me here. But like I said, ultimately, I would just tell people, don't stop creating, because through it all too, through everyone telling me you need to pick a safe major, or through people telling me this isn't going to get you where you want it to get you, I didn't listen. As much as hard-headed as I am, I didn't listen to anybody, and I kept taking pictures, I kept taking videos. I started to take classes in it, and it has paid off. And I think it's just, like I said, it's just a wonderful thing. Just don't listen to people, honestly, who are telling you things that you don't want to hear, really. I know that sounds kind of weird, but if you have your mind set on something and you're determined, I think you could really pursue it.
Yeah, you can kind of feel following the flow. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Although you're very passionate about that, and I applaud that. But I know you're also very passionate about what you put on your feet.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your shoe engagements.
So growing up, I'm a girl, okay? So I love clothes. I've always loved shoes, but I didn't really like fall in love with shoes until I graduated high school. I graduated high school, and honestly, I just needed a job. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. My older brother at the time worked at this shoe wear store. And I was like, I need a job. He said, just go in and talk to the boss, see if he gives you a job. That's exactly what I did. And I can talk anyone's ear off, basically, and I talked my way into a job. I've been there for 2 years now, and I absolutely love it. Through that, I've learned a lot about shoes, and my love for shoes has only grown. And so I've got a lot of shoes. I have a lot of shoe knowledge, more than the average person should. And that's just probably what I spend my every other day doing, is something to do with shoes.
That's great. That's great. And I understand that took you on a long trip.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So actually last month, and I'm going to tie this back into, don't listen to what people have to say, because if you just keep doing and you just keep creating, things will pay off. Like I said, photographer, model, videographer, a little bit of everything. The shoe store that I work for, they actually carry this shoe brand called Rival Shoes. And like I said, sometimes I'll just go out with my camera and I'll just take pictures of things and I'll just do stuff for fun. And my boss, actually, he ended up telling me, he's like, you should take some of the Rival tennis shoes and you should go take some pictures in them. And I was like, why does this guy want me to take Rival tennis shoes? What kind of pictures am I going to take of this thing? Why would I do this? That sounds so stupid, but I ended up doing it. I thought it'd be a fun challenge. I was like, you know what? You never know, like, get a free pair of shoes out of it or something. So I went and I did a little photo shoot with these Rival tennis shoes. The pictures eventually ended up getting back to their headquarters, like their home office headquarters, and the creators of Rival actually really loved it. So last month they actually flew me up to Twin Cities, which is where they're based, and I got to help kind of with some creative shoots. I got to help be in front of the camera. I got to help be behind the camera. To this day, I'm still kind of working on some projects for them, which is pretty cool. Hopefully I get to go back out there this summer and work with them again. But like I said, if you have your mind set to something, if you just keep doing what you're passionate about, eventually it will pay off. And for me, I was really lucky because I got to do a little bit of everything of what I love. I got to model, I got to create, I got to work with shoes, and it was super cool. So yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a great confluence of things together.
Absolutely.
And I am witness to the fact that you do wear some pretty cool shoes. Do you have any idea of how many shoes you have in your closet?
I think the last time that I counted, it was about 50 pairs of shoes.
I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh. Right. Right.
I've got a lot of shoes.
Any chance you could take some pictures of some of those or
Absolutely.
introduce us?
Absolutely. Would
Cool.
you wanna see them? I got them in my closet right behind me.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Welcome to my closet. I have a lot of shoes in here, so I'm not going to show all of them to you, but I am going to show you my favorites. Starting off strong, I've got my daily pair of sneakers. These ASIC Japans right here, kind of dirty on the bottom. Like I said, I wear them every single day. They're just the perfect everyday sneaker, like perfect white chunky sneaker. They're not too basic. They're not like an Air Force or something like that. No hate to the Air Force girls. I love the Air Force girlies. But these, for me, I feel like I just like a little bit of something unique in my tennis shoes. And I don't see a lot of people wearing these. And they actually, ASIC will bring them back every once in a while, sell them for a little bit, and then discontinue them. So if they're out, get them, because once they take them away, they take them away for a couple years and then they don't bring them back out. So I got really lucky with those. I didn't really know what I was buying when I bought them. I just thought they looked really cute. And then I learned that and I was like, this makes them even more special. So those are one of my favorite pair of tennis shoes. Like I said, probably my daily pair. Something else that I love to indulge in with my tennis shoes are my running shoes. I've got a couple really cool pairs of running shoes, but I'm going to show you my two favorites. Probably one of my favorites right now are these ASIC, another pair of ASICs. I love ASIC. ASIC Kensai Maxes. These have some like gel in their midsole, which are pretty cool. In this particular pair, it's got like glitter in the gel, which as a girl I think is really neat. But these are one of my daily pairs. I actually wore these today. They're also dirty on the bottom. I went for a little run in them today. But they're super light, they're super breathable, and they're super durable. I think it's actually one of ASIC's marathon shoes. But they discontinued these puppies, so here I am buying all the ASIC tennis shoes that they're discontinuing. But it's a great pair of tennis shoes. I absolutely love them. Another pair of my running shoes that I really love are these Nike Pegasus. They're super basic, but they're just super reliable. They're super cute. I bought these because I thought they were cute. They're comfortable, but I thought they were more cute than they were comfortable. So honestly, they're more of just an athleisure pair that I like to pair with cute outfits. I absolutely love the gold because I love to wear gold, and so it kind of matches a little bit of everything that I wear, which I think actually I wore these one time in class with you, Harry, and you made a comment about them. It made me feel very good about myself. So that was pretty cool too. As far as some of the more stylish sneakers that I have, I think the first pair of sneakers that I wore that really caught Harry's attention, which was awesome, were these gold and white high top Jordan 1s. These I got a couple months ago, I think during about Christmas time, and I would wear them all the time at the beginning of the semester. And I haven't worn them recently because it's been raining its rear end off and I don't want to get them muddy, but they're super neat. They came with different laces, but I have the gold laces in them right now, which I think is really cool because it matches just all the other gold. And they've also got that like gum bottom midsole. I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see it right here. So like it kind of matches the gold. But these are one of my favorites. I don't wear it very often because I don't want to crease them and I don't want to get them too dirty. Another pair of probably one of my favorite fashion tennis shoes that I have, my best friend actually gifted to me, and they are the Year of the Rabbit Dunks that are super cool. I absolutely love them. And on the bottom, it says 2011 and 2023, which is super cool. They're kind of dirty. It's supposed to be clear on the bottom, but I wore them once and I got them dirty. But they're super neat. They have a little, I don't know if you can see it, little rabbit on them. And then they've got kind of like this furry suede on them too, which kind of just adds to them. But I think these are super cute. I think they're super stylish. And honestly, anything that I've ever worn them with, they've matched perfectly. So I love that too because I love a tennis shoe that you can just wear with everything. But out of all the shoes in my closet, I think my favorite pair are probably my Piccolino boots. These bad boys right here. I absolutely love these boots. I have had my eyes on these for about 2 years now. Piccolino, it's a Spanish brand, and these are handmade Spanish leather boots, and they're so amazing. They have gel lining on the midsole, so they're super soft and super easy to break in. I love that they have a little bit of a Western look, Western feel to them, so I feel like I get to look kind of chic and cute, but I also still get to feel like I'm from Kansas, and I love being from Kansas. So it's really awesome. But I swear, everything that I wear these with, they pair so nicely. The leather is super strong and durable, so I don't have to worry too much about kind of scratching them up or dinging them or anything like that. These are probably one of the more expensive shoes that I have in my closet, but I love these boots. They are just so amazing. They're so comfortable. They're so cute. And if you've never tried Piccolino before, man, you gotta at least get your hands on it and feel the leather, because that leather is so dang soft, and it's absolutely wonderful. So yeah, those are my shoes.
And now we're back outside of the closet again. And I have to ask Allie, because I know she works at a local shoe store. Do you call it a shoe shop? I don't know. Tell us a little bit about the services that you provide, and give us a little commercial.
Yeah. So I actually work for a company called Trade Home Shoes. They've been around since 1921. They're based from, I believe, Twin Cities, Minnesota. I don't know if it's Twin Cities, but they're definitely based out of Minnesota. Been around for a minute. It's a full service shoe store. So you walk in, you sit down, we bring everything out for you, we explain everything for you. We even put your shoes on for you, which you don't find a lot at many shoe stores anymore. But I absolutely love working at Trade Home Shoes. I think my favorite part of the job is just ultimately getting to help people. Because other than shoes, we also have a lot more things that we offer people, as well as like orthotic insoles, or maybe like therapeutic socks or anything like that too. So we've got a little bit of everything, but I get a lot of customers who come in just complaining about pain, or complaining about how they don't have any shoes that are comfortable, and that they hate walking, they hate standing, they hate running. And I love when I can find someone a pair of tennis shoes that just makes them feel so much better. And I love it even more when they come back to tell me about it. When they come back to say, I love these tennis shoes, I need another pair of tennis shoes. It's probably one of the best feelings ever.
That's very cool. It's so hard to find good service these days. So, whereabouts is your store located?
So the store that I work at is in the Oak Park Mall in Overland Park, Kansas. We're on the upper level, kind of towards like J.C. Penney's a little bit. But we've been there for about 4 years now, I believe. Like I said, Trade Home's been around since 1921, but we're constantly expanding. We're constantly opening up new stores so that more people can experience our service. The current manager there, his name is Michael Carricker, and it's an ESOP company, so it's actually employee owned. So he's the manager there, but he's also technically the owner there too, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's a super cool place to work at. I love working there. I've been there for about 2 years now, and I have no complaints. I plan on being there even longer. It'll probably be my college job, honestly. And who knows, maybe one day, maybe I'll be there forever. You never know. We'll see.
We'll see. So ask for Allie.
Yep, ask for Allie.
There you go. All right. On a slightly different tangent, what kind of music do you like? What genres? What groups? What do you like?
Honestly, I listen to a little bit of everything. I love all kinds of music. I think probably the only thing I don't really rock with, ironically, is probably like heavy metal for some reason. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but for me, I've just never gotten into it. A genre that I'm really into right now is honestly just anything indie, or anything like popular but not too popular. Reason being is I love going to concerts, but I love going to concerts that are at smaller venues. I'm not a huge fan of concerts that are at like big stadiums, or like huge sold out venues or anything like that. I love the atmosphere of a smaller concert where you can kind of just be there with the artist. I think it's 10 times better. I feel like it makes it more intimate, it makes it more special of an experience. And I also feel like I get to see that like the people that I'm watching perform are like real people. And in a way, I feel like it's very inspiring, because when I get to be there right with them, it inspires me, and it's kind of like, man, these are real people. I could do what they do. Like this is awesome. These people are amazing. Like what's stopping me? What's stopping me from doing something like this? So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And so is there something different, something that really caught your attention, something that really like made a big impact with you that you want to share with others?
Probably like kind of basic, but probably my grandfather. I was kind of talking about earlier. My grandfather, he passed away a couple years ago, but he was probably the most musical guy that I know. And he definitely sparked my interest in music. I have two other brothers, and both of them, like, they kind of played music a little bit when they were in high school and stuff like that, but neither of them pursue it like I do anymore. And my grandfather, I mean, he was super talented, super musically inclined. And so I grew up with, you name any instrument, I grew up with it around me, and I grew up listening to him play it. He was the kind of guy, he could pick up any instrument and play it, and it was super amazing. It was phenomenal, inspirational. And so every day that I wake up and I want to learn something new, I just think about him, and I think about how he could play anything that he wanted to, or he could do anything that he wanted to. And so it was just really cool. And he was the kind of guy where, like, that's just how he inspired people. I remember one time when I was in high school, I'm more of a woodwind instrumentalist. But one time I was in high school, I had a dream that I could play the trumpet. So I woke up the next day and I went to my band director. I said, I want to learn how to play the trumpet. And I played the trumpet for a whole semester in high school because I thought I could do it, and I did it. I did it for a whole semester, but I missed the saxophone. So I ended up going back to that after that semester. But it was a fun experience. And I think that just kind of shows the kind of person that I am when it comes to just me having my mind set to something. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna learn it, and I'm gonna try it.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah. And enjoy whatever it gives back to you. Yeah.
Yep.
What about books? Do you have a favorite genre of books that you like, or a favorite author or anything?
Honestly, I don't read a lot of books, but I read a lot of books, but it's mostly religion books. Like I read a lot of like everything. I'm like Book of Mormon, the Bible, the Quran. I read a little bit of everything. I don't know why. It's very interesting to me. Religion has always been really interesting to me. So I kind of like to just kind of dive into anything and everything and kind of see everyone's perspective on it. And I just think it's really cool.
That's the beautiful part of it. Everybody has their own things that interest them, and sometimes they correlate with others. Yeah, yeah. What about visual art? Do you like paintings or sculpture or anything like that, other than shoes?
Oh man, I love visual art. I'm telling you. So I love, love, love to travel, but I think anything more than traveling, I love going to art museums. And so whenever I travel to a new place, the first thing that I do is look up and see what kind of art museum they've got there. I've been to a lot of art museums, and I couldn't tell you the last time I traveled anywhere without going to an art museum. But I think probably my two favorites, because I can't pick just one, two favorite art museums I've ever been to is one, the Legion of Honor. It's in San Francisco. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's right there on the Bay Area, and it was just like they've got a little rendition of the Thinker, Renoir's The Thinker out there, just super, super neat. And it was just like the architecture is beautiful. It's very like Bay, California, and it was absolutely gorgeous, and it's just something that like I feel like you'd see in the movies. My second favorite art museum is probably, actually, I don't know if they're both up there for number one, so I won't say I like one more than the other, but the Philbrook Museum of Art. It's actually in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but they have gardens outside of their art museum. And it looks like it's right out of like, it looks like you're in France. Like when you go into the gardens and you look like you're in some like countryside in like France or Italy, and you would never guess that it's a place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But the Philbrook Art Museum is absolutely amazing. They have beautiful gardens, they have a beautiful art museum, and just everything about it is absolutely encapsulating. Super cool.
That's wild. That's wild. I like to take day trips and long trips like that. I need to check that out. Say the name
Yeah.
again, please.
The Philbrook Art Museum.
The Philbrook.
The Philbrook. It's a great day trip. I've done that day trip probably twice just to go see the Philbrook. It's gorgeous. There's also a great restaurant in Tulsa called Kilkenny's if you like Irish food.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And
Oh, yeah.
if you're going to see the Philbrook, you got to go to Kilkenny's because I'm telling you, that place is amazing.
I assume they have a few pints here and there, yeah?
Something like that. Yep.
Okay.
Something
Of
like
course,
that.
you're only 20, so you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. Nope.
Okay, let's move on to my favorite area. Talk about the kitchen. What's your favorite kind of food?
So my favorite kind of food, probably, so I'm Southeast Asian, and something that is like very popular with every Southeast Asian ethnicity or country culture is their noodles. We love our noodles. We love our noodles. And I am Laotian. My dad's from Laos, and Laos has this special dish that's kind of their own rendition of like chicken noodle soup, and it's called kapiek. That's probably my favorite food. If there was one food that I could eat from the rest of my life, or if there was one food that I would eat before I die, that would probably be it. It's so good. It's a comfort food for me. I grew up on it. That's actually the kind of chicken noodle soup that I grew up on. So when I kind of got older and learned what like America's chicken noodle soup was, I was very disappointed and I didn't know what I was eating. And I remember people telling me, "Oh, we're having chicken noodle soup for lunch today." And I was like, "Yes." And I remember getting up there in the lunch line and seeing this, like, what is this? Like, this is not the chicken noodle soup that I know. And so that's probably my favorite comfort food. My aunt, her name is Tutu. She probably makes just the best kapiek, and it's absolutely wonderful. Great for when you're sick, absolutely amazing for when you're sick, and even greater just on a cold day. So yeah.
Wow. Is there any place in Kansas City that commercially that serves a good version of that? I'm not going to show up at your aunt's house.
No, yeah, there's actually a really great Lao restaurant in Overland Park off of, I believe, Quivira and 119th. It's called Cup Jai Dare. Cup Jai Dare. It's close to campus, so I'm not gonna lie, I go there all the time after classes. But it's a really great little like Lao and Vietnamese restaurant. And as someone who is Lao and grew up on Lao food, I feel like it's very authentic. It's very good. The cupcake is amazing. The woman that owns the business, she's even more amazing. She's an absolute sweetheart. I love her so much. So yeah, I've tried looking for a lot of Lao restaurants in the area, and that's one of the only ones that I found. But I will say their food is very, very good.
Now, I know Thai food can be kind of spicy. Is that also, how is that with the Laotian?
For me personally, I'm not a huge fan of Thai food. Only the reason being is it confuses me. I don't know if that sounds really weird or really odd, but Thai food is they're very diverse in the kind of like I guess like goal they're going for when they make food. Like for me, a lot of times I don't know if I'm tasting something that's sweet or if I'm tasting something that's spicy. Like there's just too much going on in the dish. So no hate to Thai food. I love Thai people. I love Thai food, but not my favorite, not my personal favorite, just because I feel like there's too much going on in there.
So the Laotian is less spicy, or how would you, for someone who is more familiar with Thai food, how would you describe Laotian food?
Lao food compared to Thai food, I feel like is a little more savory. Thai
Oh,
food, I feel like can be very sweet. Lao food is a little more savory, a little bit more sodium, a little bit more salt, a little bit more pork.
okay, all right.
So, and for me personally, I just grew up with Lao food, so for me, it's just more normal, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But compared to Thai food, I think it's maybe a little more exotic just because it's not as known or not as popular as Thai food is. But
Mhm.
like I said, I feel like Thai food, there's a lot of stuff that's like it's very sweet. And Lao food is just it's not.
I'll have to check that out. One
Yeah.
more time, please tell us the name of the restaurant and the location.
Kop Jai Dare. It's spelled KHOPJAIDER. And it is on 119th and Quivira.
Okay, cool. I've got to check that out sometime. So when you're in the kitchen, what is your favorite kitchen appliance?
My favorite kitchen appliance,
Yeah.
honestly, probably the microwave. Probably the microwave. I tell you what, as someone who works a full-time job and is also a full-time student, who also lives an hour away from her job and from campus, I don't have a lot of time to cook. And so I think the microwave is probably my saving grace.
Cool. All right. Now, this may sound a little out of left field, but if you were a kitchen appliance, what would you be?
Probably a toaster.
Okay. Why?
And reason being is because I feel like a toaster, I feel like I'm just always surprising people. Because you put some bread in the toaster, you put a waffle in the toaster or something, and you never really know when it's gonna jump out at you. And that's kind of like me in a sense. Is I always have people telling me they're like, your life is so interesting. Like you're always doing so many things. Like I wish I had the opportunities that you were doing, or I wish I was doing the things you're doing because like you're doing something new. We never know what you're up to. And so I feel like a toaster, I'm just kind of always surprising people.
Popping all over the place. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to switch off to sports here real quickly. Do you have a favorite sport that you either like to watch or participate in?
Probably gymnastics. Probably gymnastics. So I actually was a junior Olympic gymnast for about 10 years. I grew up doing junior Olympic gymnastics, and I ended up having to quit because of an injury, and that happened during the same time as COVID. And so it kind of just all came crashing down, which is okay because I'm happy where I'm at now. But I still love, I mean, every 4 years when the Olympic trials comes around, I don't think I've ever been more patriotic or more American. I love watching the Olympic trials. I love watching gymnastics. I think it's a super interesting sport. I love how it continues to evolve every single day. Like there's always super amazing athletes that are just coming out with new skills. And it's just never boring. It's never boring. And as someone who was a gymnast, I know how much effort and work and dedication takes into training in gymnastics. And so I just have the utmost respect for anyone who is taking it all the way or anybody who's doing that on the daily. So yeah.
Cool. Cool. Is there anyone in history that you would like to meet?
With Robin Williams.
All right.
I feel like
Mark.
oh wait, actually I take that back. No hate Robin Williams, I love you, but I take that back. Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
I
okay.
would love to meet Keanu Reeves.
Wow. Why?
I think he's an amazing person, and I think he's an amazing actor. I love all the John Wick movies. I love Point Break. I love Devil's Advocate. I any like Keanu Reeves
Matrix.
movie, The
Yeah.
Matrix, like any Keanu Reeves movie, like I'm watching. You know, SpongeBob, like literally everything. I love that guy. He does a little bit of everything, and he's just super cool, amazing actor. But as well as being an amazing actor, I think he's just an amazing person. Like he's probably one of my favorite celebrities because he's very down to earth. He's very humble. If you kind of read more into like Keanu Reeves' life, he's had a lot of hardships
Hmm.
and he's gone through a lot of just trauma that is just, I couldn't imagine anyone going through that. And through that, he still comes out to be an amazing person. He donates to a lot of charities. He meets with a lot of people, talks to a lot of organizations. And he seems like a wonderful guy. And so honestly, and if there's anyone I could meet and sit down and talk with, it'd probably be Keanu Reeves. I just think he's super cool.
That's neat. That's
Yeah.
neat. So, do you have a favorite saying or quote or words that you live by?
One of something that I kind of just tell myself every day is just let it be. Let it be. Just because there's always so many things going on around you. There's always a lot of people around you saying things, or maybe there might be people doubting you. You might be going through a situation where maybe it's not going your way. You might be going through a situation where it is going your way, but maybe it's going a little too fast and you just weren't expecting it. And so sometimes I just have to kind of slow down and tell myself, just let it be because it'll all work out. And so I think that's probably my favorite saying is just let it be, it'll work out. Inshallah, it'll work out. It's in God's hands, you know? So yeah.
That's good. So, what haven't I asked you that I should?
My dog, Coda. My dog, Coda.
Tell me about Coda.
I don't know where he went. Coda. He's hiding here somewhere. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Get him up here for you. Ooh. He's a big boy. He
There
probably
he
looks
is.
like he's terrified.
Hey,
Coda,
Coda.
say hello.
Yeah. Oh,
Say-
he's ignoring me.
He's very shy. He's a very scared
Yeah.
dog. He's very scared of
Oh,
everything. But this
yeah.
is my baby boy, Coda. Growing up, I've always been a cat person. I've loved dogs, but I've always been more of a cat person. And so I've always had cats. I've always loved cats. We've had dogs, but never any dogs where I've been like, oh, I love this dog. Like I just love this dog. It's my favorite dog ever. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Like we have a dog. One day I woke up about a year and a half ago and I just like this doesn't sound crazy, but I just had this like calling from God where he was like, you need to hop on Facebook, just scroll through, you know, Facebook, some like groups and see if you can find a dog. And I'm hearing this and I'm thinking, a dog? Like, I don't need a dog. I don't want a dog. I think dogs are dirty. I think dogs are gross. I think dogs are hard to take care of. But little did I know that would be like the best thing that I ever ended up doing. And so I've also always only had like little dogs. And so for me, he's not very big, but for me, he's a big dog because I've always had like small lap dogs growing up. And so one day I'm just scrolling through Facebook and I see this woman post about, oh, I have these miniature Australian Shepherds for sale, like $100, whatever. I'm like, yeah, that seems cool. Kind of those dogs are kind of big. I've also never had a male dog before, so it was something that was new to me. But I ended up driving down to Pittsburgh, Kansas to meet with this woman, and she had this litter of dogs. They were also grown. Like, he was already almost a year old, and I wanted a puppy. I was like, a puppy would be so much more fun. Like, I can mold him into whatever I want. Like, I don't want a dog that's fully grown. But I showed up at this little park with this, like, litter of dogs, and these dogs were all running wild, going crazy, and this little guy was just sitting in the corner. And I go up to him, and he's kind of doing what he's doing now. Kind of has his head down. He's kind of scared of everything. And I was like, you're coming home with me. Like, I need you. You're my favorite thing in this world. Like, I absolutely need you. And like I said, it ended up being like the best thing that I ever did. Because he gets me out of bed every morning. I can't not wake up at 7 a.m. to take him out or feed him. Like, it gets me out of bed every morning. He gets me home every night. And he's the best thing ever. He gets me outside every single day, taking walks and doing things. And during that time of my life too, I was very like, not necessarily like depressed by any means, but just really lazy. And so just getting him has helped me be more accountable for not only myself, but also for him, because you can't just not take care of your dog. And so I have learned to be more loving because of him. He's definitely taught me patience. He's definitely taught me patience, and he's taught me love. And he's probably just my favorite little creature in this universe. So yeah,
Cool.
it's my boy Coda.
Where did the name Coda come from?
So the name Coda actually came from the movie Brother Bear. Coda is a very, very popular dog name, and I've never been someone who does things that are like super, super popular. No hate to that. I just like to think of myself as someone who is a little more unique. And so when I named him Coda, I actually had a lot of people talking about that's such a basic dog name. Like, why would you name him Coda? But if you've ever seen the movie Brother Bear, the little brother or the little bear in the movie, his name is Coda. And I can't remember what language it is. It's some native language. And I want to say Inuit, but I could be wrong. But the name Coda or the word Coda means like little friend or little brother. And so when I think about him, I hear Coda, I think about how he's my little friend, he's my little brother, and he's just the sweetest thing ever. So yeah, that's where the name came from.
That's cute.
Yeah.
He's like, he wants to go meet his buddy.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
All right, so it's your turn. Is there anything that you would like to ask of me?
Yeah, so how did you end up in this podcast class?
Oh, the short version. The short version is like you. I like to taste different things. I like to do different things. I like to learn different things. So a couple of years ago, I retired and sat around home for a couple or 3 months and figured, yeah, I don't like this idea of retired. I'm going to be reinvented.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, okay, what interests me? What can I do? And so I started taking some classes at JCCC. And I'm not going for grades. I'm not going for a degree or anything like that. I'm going to learn stuff and see what I want to get more into. And I have really found, all the professors. It's a great school. I think you'll agree with me. It's a great school. It's very humanistic, if I can use that word. Every professor that I've taken a class with has had not only the book knowledge, but also the real life knowledge to really give you something substantial rather than just following chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 of a book. So podcasting is a form of communication, and it's a way of meeting new people and interesting people. I've interviewed some of my friends that I thought I knew pretty well, and I learned different facets of them. And so, yeah, it's just continuing to learn something new every day.
That's pretty interesting. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah.
I'm having fun with it. Okay, so tell us a little bit. Is there anything like a project you've got going on, a social media page that you have, or what do they call it? YouTubes and Instagrams and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
how can people find out more about you?
I have 2 Instagram pages. One of them is just straight up my first and last name, Allee Sambatran. That is my main Instagram page where I post a little bit of everything, but mostly stuff that pertains to my modeling or acting or maybe some of the projects that I'm working on. Nothing too personal. And I also have a second Instagram page called Allee SOMBX, which is my photography page that I recently started. I started getting more into like film photography, and so I've started experimenting with that, just kind of like visual art and kind of creating and posting on Instagram a little bit more. So if you like seeing any photography or anything like that, give that page a follow. I'm very excited about it. I love Instagram has this cool feature now where you can post pictures and put music over it. So I love taking pictures and then just kind of finding a song that matches that vibe and posting that.
Oh, that's very, very cool. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time. I know you got a really busy schedule, but you have the energy to keep it up, and I applaud that. So,
of course,
thank you again, everybody. Check out her shoe store, check out her Instagram page, and check out her modeling. I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot more from her. So, thanks again. We'll talk to you soon. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Interesting People I Know. Please follow or subscribe to be in the know about future episodes of Interesting People I Know. If you know of someone that I need to get to know and interview, please drop me a line at harrynogginsmusic@gmail.com. Thanks.